Hi, this video is made for just about anybody who wants to be able to pass the time with drawing. This is for beginners and people who know a little bit about drawing themselves. I went to college for this kind of a thing, and we had 6 hours of drawing class and 6 hours of homework every week. It was kind of nuts, actually. But this is kind of some knowledge that I figured I could pass on to people who are trying to pass the time, get some drawing kind of things, get to the roots of just some self-expression or anything. This is made to be kind of relaxing. It's not to be, super stressful. I'm going to show you some work in this beginning portion right now, just to show you what I've been able to draw, and hopefully, you can draw some things like that yourself. Some things that maybe you want to just doodle around and just have some fun. If you have a preconceived notion of drawing, I'm gonna just say try to forget that for now, just for the sake of this tutorial. Um, Oftentimes people know some things about illustration where you don't build scaffolding and all that. This is more, you build the scaffolding to then complete the form. You draw from the inside. You draw the form as if you had X-ray goggles on, and that way you can get it so that things look exactly the way that they're supposed to. I start out with showing you guys how to do some foreground and background, light and dark, and then I'm going to go into showing you how to do some one-point perspective. I dabble in mentioning that two-point perspective exists, but we're not going to tackle that right now. We're just going to do 1 point, and then we're going to talk about how to build the scaffolding. It's about building scaffolding in order to make it so that you can make a form. This is kind of supposed to be just getting into things that might be considered redundant for some people, but either way, just let it play through like background noise while you're doing this. And if you see me do something interesting, then cool, just tune in. I'm gonna make as few cuts as possible because I know that drawing takes a while, and you're gonna be drawing your own thing, maybe incorporating some of the things that I'm doing here, and then you can play around with that as you'd like. So basically, while you're drawing, just don't worry about the fact that I'm still drawing and I'm doing something, and I'm gonna make it so that you have plenty of time to just keep doing it your way, and you can just keep the video playing. You can pause it as you'd like. It's just supposed to be as stress-free as possible. that's the goal of this. All right, so we're gonna start with something super simple, and we're gonna do a little basic form that is important for drawing. It's extremely important that you know how to do this correctly because it's kind of the foundation of everything. We'll get into like a cube in a minute, but right now we're just gonna do ellipses. Any questions you guys have, by the way, just feel free to comment. Just put them down in the comments, and I'll take a look, and I'll mention it or put it in another video or something like that. After this video, I'm thinking of probably doing a 2-point perspective thing for the next video and show you how to draw a figure. Maybe even go into some shading. See how this part is darker? The reason why that's darker is because it's in the foreground. Things that are in the foreground you want to make darker. So that way, when you're drawing something, right? Let's say if you wanted to make a, I don't know, like a face. Or a ball. Like a Pokeball. Let's make this a Pokeball, right? Guess what? Boom. You got yourself the front of the Pokeball here. See? So now you know why it's important to do an ellipse like that, right? We're gonna do another one over here, right? Now where do we want the foreground to be? Maybe up here, right? Maybe we'll make this part darker. Now we'll do another one. Let's make this one go sideways like this, right? And maybe we'll make it. Boom! Yeah! It's coming right at you. You feel that? It's kind of like the difference between figure drawing and gesture drawing. I'm putting it there as like figure drawing would be, but gesture drawing is giving it the emotion. So the fact that you feel this thing coming at you is a very emotional indicator as opposed to just it being there, right? Let's do another one, right? How about this one's all elongated like that, right? Gives it the feeling of coming at you really fast. But you get the back of it and you get the front of it by doing the ellipse much like that. Let's do one elongated this way, right? And perhaps we'll make this part darker. The point of this too is to get the motion of your wrist and fingers and stuff. Sometimes it's nice to do just as like a little exercise of sorts. If you are just trying to get yourself warmed up to the idea of drawing. Just do these along with me and draw them wherever you'd like. Right? So you can see where this comes into play. Draw as many as you'd like. Just take your sweet old time with it. And now, I'm going to fast forward this part right here, but we're going to make Krillin throwing a bunch of destructo discs. This is also the shape that I use when I'm drawing somebody's head or when I'm drawing somebody's rib cage. You use these ellipses constantly. If you wanted to draw like a dragon coming towards you from the page, you draw the ellipses and getting closer and all that. And then you go into the, perspective aspects like I'll be showing you soon. I have never drawn Krillin before in my life. Now we have like Krillin working for Vegeta, or like, something like that. There you go. Krillin if he worked for Frieza. See, this is something that never appeared in canon Dragon Ball Z, but now, guess what? Because we can draw, we've made this. Evil Krillin working for Frieza. Now he's throwing destructo discs. Boom! Okay, moving on. We're going to 1 point perspective. Let's go. What you're going to want to do is start by making your horizon line. So, this is your horizon line. You can do 2 point or 1 point perspective. Your 1 or 2 points can be anywhere you decide them to be. And, this is basically straightforward stuff. You probably already know it. But either way, I'm going to just get down to the basics with you right now. And just bang them out of the way. We're just going to do 1 point perspective right now. So, let's say you're trying to make a cube, right? This, if you were to look at this as a street, this street fades off into the horizon, hence horizon line. Then, with 1 point perspective, you just make this parallel with the horizon line. This will be the back of our cube, and this will be the front of our cube. Actually, let's make it more square. As you do this kind of thing more frequently, you start to develop a good eye for what works and what doesn't. So now we're going to make the front wall just stand up by making it go perpendicular to the horizon line. Go up like that. Now let's go over to this bad boy and up like that. Now, the fun thing about drawing, and what's very interesting about it, is that you draw things that at the end of the day you will not see on the final product. Hence how I erase those lines right there. And watch this. I am going to go up, back here, and up, back there. Alright, now what would look like a perfect square to us? Maybe around there. Parallel with the horizon. And now, in order to make the other walls, we grab the two side walls, that is. Okay. Is it still in view? Yeah, it is. We're going to grab this. And I like to put my pencil down on the point that I'm trying to draw from. And boom. You got that. And boom. You got that. Now to finish the back wall, you go from that, where this intersects, to where that intersects. And finally, now you got yourself a cube. We're going to erase these lines. And take a look at this. That is a cube. Right? I'm trying to get this out quickly because there's a lot more to show. I'm basically going over the basics super mighty quick because I know many people already know it, and I just want to make it so it's a video for beginners and experienced people. So as you can see, we can see the back of the cube. So normally you'd erase this and boom, you got a cube. But we're going to take this a little bit further, and we are going to make a cylinder out of this cube. Now this is the thing that starts to get a little bit more complicated. Now we're going to grab this. No, sorry, I'm a fool. We're going to go from this angle to that angle, right? We're going to make an X on the bottom of our cube here, because we're seeing from the inside. You draw forms from the inside when you're drawing. Illustrating doesn't require all this finesse. Drawing and illustrating are two different things. So we made the X. Now we take here, and we go right down the middle of the X. Now we know the center of the cube. And likewise, we are going to go here and go again parallel with the horizon line. So now we know the center here too. So here, 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 and here. This is where we take our drawings of circles like that, where we go darker where the circle is closer to us. And now we have an understanding of where the back is and where the front is. You know, you can even erase the back, and let's say we turn it into a pipe or a piece of bamboo, a nice little bamboo shoot. See that? Now we can do another one, and we got, kind of looks like a spinal cord, right? So in order to make a perfect cylinder, we do a similar thing where we do a nice little go light first, and then we make a line a little bit darker as we keep going over it, but we stay light. Now what you can do is come in and just connect it, because you have a generally good circle going on right there, right? So that's pretty good, you know? Now we can do the same thing to the top here. We're going to go boom, boom, there we go, and boom is going to go over to, oh shoot, boom. Again, grab from here, go through the middle of the X. That was horrible because I was moving the ruler. Now we know here and here, right? We're going to go nice and parallel. Boom. Okay. So now we got the same thing going on up here. Now one thing you'll notice is that you can see the entire top here. So we're going to make all of it dark. Just erase the inside. Sometimes you're afraid of erasing your work, don't worry, you can just go back in. Let's clean this space up a little bit. And now we have this circular top to our cylinder, right? Now let's go over here. Boom. We'll connect this bad boy and connect that bad boy. Erase that. Now we have ourselves a cylinder. You say, great, now we have a cylinder. What in the world am I going to do with this here cylinder? Alright, you know what? Let's eliminate that. So we got ourselves some room. So, let's say we wanted to, let's do it quickly just so we can get it over with, essentially. But what you would normally do is you would build the bottom square up to here as well, right? And I could go in and do that, but I'm not going to, because we're just going to do this for time's sake. I'm not going to. So my camera kind of crapped out, and I had to reformat my card. I dumped all the data onto my computer and everything, but I also swapped off a little cover I had on my lens to just adjust the brightness, but I think this works better, honestly. In fact, it should look a lot better, a lot less orange. So I went through some steps that didn't get recorded, drawing this caution here, but you know what? I can do this on a bigger scale so it's more obvious, and not only that, but I can also just not, kind of try to do it freehand. Instead, I can do it the way that I showed you, by building the form, the scaffolding, and then completing the form on the inside. So what we're going to do is we're going to just completely ignore this. And we're getting doused in shavings right now. We're going to go nice and wide this time. That way you guys get a really good picture of what this looks like. I would be doing this on a bigger piece of paper if it wasn't for the fact that charcoal can get very, very messy, and I'm not about to use a bunch of material and get covered in dust. When I was in school for this and I had 6 hours of class, I'd be drawing and drawing and drawing, and I'd go home and I'd take a shower and literally charcoal would just come out of my hair and down the drain. I'd blow my nose and it would just be black. It was really bad. And oftentimes I'd have to take my contacts out because they would be so irritated from all the charcoal in my eyes. It's a huge mess and a huge endeavor. That I just and I know too that most of you out there just have a piece of paper and a pencil. So with what I showed you, you should be able to draw just about anything that you want to that's in a cylinder shape, whether it's a bottle of perfume that's really pretty that you think you would like to draw, or if it is a can of spray paint that you're just like feeling your angsty teeny vibes. You want to get that out there. So as you can see right now, we have this. This right here is, what we had before when we were building the, whatchamacallit, this is a very wonky looking thing. But it will work out, it always does. For some reason, even when something looks stupid, just follow the scaffolding and it'll make sense. You can see right here I'm even turning the page to make it so that I get this arc from my natural wrist formation. So one thing I notice is that I'm trying to make this this circle work on the ground, and I'm I'm a little caught up in the idea of making it so that, you guys are entertained. I'm not going to try to readjust this circle on the ground. Instead, I'm going to try to somehow make it work. It's actually turning into an oval shape. The reason is that I made the back of the cube and the front of the cube too far apart. I also end up not building the cube because I want to get this done quickly for you so that you can just get an idea of the fact that this matters, building the form and building the structure, if you want to get it right and you want to make sure that it looks the way it's supposed to. But it's for fun. It doesn't matter that you're freehanding some of it. It's supposed to be for fun. So now you see here, we have the center of this. Now how do we get something, let's say here. Let's say if we want to build some sort of coliseum, right? So what I'm doing right here is that I'm grabbing the same X shape. It gives you the dead center of a square while you're drawing. If you want to get the dead center of one of the halves of it, you then do another X from the center to the edge of the cube. I'm erasing some of the lines too, as you can see, to make it so that we can understand exactly what lines we're following. So you make an X to find the center, and then from that center to the edge of the cube, you draw another X to find the center of that half of the cube. And you draw your line from the horizon line. So now we got here, right? Interesting. Maybe we want to make a little archway, right? I'm going to freehand this without the ruler just because, for time's sake. We just feel it like that, right? We feel the archway coming toward us and getting buried behind this pillar, right? And then let's take this one, this side of the pillar, right? Now let's see here, what would this look like? Sometimes you can guess too when you get better at it, Okay, I feel like that's roughly where the circle would be, up around here, if we built this up and then came back up here. My drawing teacher would want to murder me for doing that. I know that for a fact. He'd be like, "What is wrong with you?" However, he's not here right now, so he can deal with it. All right. Yeah, let's go toward the center. Well, sort of. I guess I don't know. Let's get ourselves inside there, right? You can see here, but even just winging it, you're starting to get a few shaped in there. I mean, if you really want to make it look exactly like it would in real life, you build the scaffolding from the inside too. You do the inner circle here so that this pillar is exactly in as deep as you need it to be. And you make it so that you can feel like the curve on the inside that would come in here. You see that? If you would have X-ray vision, But we're trying to do this quickly, just to show people, and we're not going to take it too hard. We're not trying to train the world's greatest artists. So here we have, let's make this one the big entryway, right? Because it already looks a little funky as it is, It looks a little bit crazy. Because these are so thin in comparison to the gap here that would take place between this and then would be equidistant. You wouldn't be able to fit one or two here. One would be this pillar's too thick, and two would be this pillar's too thin, or these are too thin. So we're going to make this. This is the best part about drawing, is that you don't have to follow anybody's rules. Everybody wants to recreate something that's right in front of them. You don't have to do that. you can literally create something from your mind, or you can change something that's right in front of you. And that's the best part. That's what makes it so much fun. Once, you know, you've tinkered around with it enough to be able to get comfortable. Getting comfortable with it is the difficult part, you know. Ooh, that's coming a little bit too... Let's get that straight up. There we go. Now we got it. One of my favorite things to do is to design things. Complete and total objects, right? So we're just going to freehand this. We can get a good idea of where the center of this bad boy would be, right? Be right around where this door is. Now let's say that this works as like a drapery kind of thing, right? And maybe we'll put like a little jewel here or something. Ooh, a little flame. Yeah, there we go. See, I'm literally inventing things as I go along. It doesn't matter if it comes out exactly as I have envisioned it in my head. I was going to make a Colosseum at first, and now this is... I mean, I guess, I don't know, maybe people are fighting Agni Kais in here, you know. Shout out to Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's a good TV show I watched when I was a kid. So, now we want to make this on the other side, right? So let's head on over. Let's grab this bad boy. Oh, I need to turn the page because I don't have the room. Alright. You can see that? Good. So here's where it met the back from the center right there. We're going to go... You don't want to go too hard when you do that kind of a line when you're doing this scaffolding, because you're going to kind of come in and you're going to make the final lines much darker. That's the thing that's always good about you know, coming in and what was I saying? I don't even remember. I don't remember. I don't even remember. We get the guesstimate circle up there, right? And it's just about as thick, yeah? Alright. We're just going to erase right here. One of the best things that I ever did, like one of the best little things that we did in college, when I went to school for this, was we drew an entire picture that was basically, we covered the entire thing in charcoal. This whole entire massive piece of paper. And we would basically erase the lines away. And we would create the structure by using our eraser. Needless to say, it was a very messy process, but at the end of the day, I got very confident with using my eraser to build forms as well. Not just the marking portion of it, you know? As you can see, I scoot the line over when I need to. I, you know, bring it in when I can, all that. So now what are we going to do at the top here, right? Let's just say this is our top estimated, right? Because like I said, we're doing this just for fun. We're not trying to make the world's most perfect picture, you know? And oftentimes, you know what? That's really what you gotta do, is that you gotta just never care about making a perfect picture, right? Because that is where you end up getting yourself stressed out. A lot of people cried in college. It's because everybody wanted to be good, and then the professors would just be brutally honest, you know? Hey, look, now it's got a little dome top, right? Oh, it's a little wonky. Alright. Bring it over a little bit. There we go. And just erase the inside. See, now that I went light, I can go in dark. And now, there's the finished dome, right? And maybe I don't want this line here. Maybe I want to be rid of it. And maybe I just want it to be a nice, flat shape, right? So now I have the ability to do that because I didn't go in too dark. And it looks a lot cleaner, a lot better. Now we have this really weird looking structure that honestly doesn't look that much like any culture I've ever seen before, so I mean, maybe a little bit like a Jewish temple mixed with like a Middle Eastern kind of thing. Like looks like a temple mixed with a mosque, and that might, some people might hate me for that, but that's what it kind of looks like. I kind of like this. I might hang on to it. It's interesting. Everything's always a little bit of an experiment when you're drawing. You know, you don't need to worry about replicating something. Everybody always wants to have like a reference photo too. You don't need a reference photo all the time. You know. Let me just adjust the camera real quick. There we go. Everybody always wants a reference photo and to build something that you see right in front of you. You don't always need that. Sometimes you can just build something from your imagination, just using these simple rules, these tools that I've shown you right here. So, you know, it can be kind of fun. And then, you know, you can go into it, maybe give a little decoration here, something like that, right? Let's give it some big old, I don't know if I should say that on camera, but hopefully, I mean, maybe children won't get it, so parents will be cool with it. There you go, right? Now, I'm not going to show you, I could draw people in front of here, you know, doing all their stuff and their people things. I could shade this too. I could show you how to shade, but we're going to save that for another time. As of right now, I'd say just try playing around with this, right? Play around with building a form, maybe draw some soda bottles, maybe, you know, draw, like I said, perfume bottles or, you know, buildings, stuff like that. Draw something in one-point perspective and just build the form and handle the form. Just enjoy dealing with the form. Whether it's a square kind of shape, a cube, you know, or if it's a cylinder kind of shape. As I'm looking at this more and more, I'm realizing that it is not at all in perspective. If you can see right here, it's like it's tilted downward, whereas here, it's tilted the same way. And what that would be is this would kind of go like that, fading into the horizon right there on our 1 point right there. But it's okay. It's okay. This is just a doodle for fun. We're doing this for fun. If I were you, play around with this. If you want to make it as structurally sound as possible, well then abide by the rules that I showed. If you're doing it just for fun and you don't really care, well then try maybe winging it here and there. If it doesn't work out, then just, you know, erase, come back, and then do the structure thing and continue from there. This is all, you know, seems a little stressful because you want the outcome to just be there, right there, in front of you. But enjoy the small things, you know, enjoy the fact that you're building this archway here. Take a look at it and be like, oh, how can I make this a little bit better? How can I, you know, maybe you want to come back into it, you want to give it some sort of design, right? Maybe these can become more Roman type things or something like that, you know, where they do the buttress, you know, the little buttress kind of thing, and then, you know, you bring in the lines and all that, you know. Maybe you want to do that. Maybe you want to make it more of an Arabian looking type thing. And maybe you want to give it that candy cane kind of look that they oftentimes have on Arabian pillars, you know? And, you know, you have that. Maybe you want to make them round pillars. Maybe you want to make them more square. You do what you want to do. That's the best part. So yeah, have fun, guys, and show me what you want. I'll put a hashtag right here. Just post it on Instagram with that hashtag, and I'll take a look at it. And I'll probably end up building a Instagram for this YouTube page as well at some point. But I'm here to just provide stuff. I do know some other things that I can teach. If anybody wants any filming, cooking, any kind of tutorials on anything, just let me know. I've been trained to work with glass work, but clearly I don't have a furnace or any of those fun things for doing glass work. I don't have a hot shop. I don't have any ceramic things, nothing, but I do have the ability to draw, show you color, photography, things like that. I can do tutorials on all those kinds of things, and so yeah, I'll come back next time and I'll show you how to draw figures. Figure drawing is really interesting. That's when you start drawing all the people and all that. And then there's gesture drawing as well. There's gestures and figures. Figures is getting the anatomical form. Gesture is getting the emotional aspect of it. Like, you can see my fingers here. You can get them anatomically correct, you know, getting the fingers to look right. But then getting the form, the emotion, that is gesture drawing. It doesn't matter how the form looks. It matters that you're getting the gesture. So we'll come into that in the next video. But as of right now, just build some structures. Let me see what you can do with this this knowledge, this little video. All right? Have fun, guys. Stay safe and stay healthy. I'll see you next time.